How's it going, everybody? In this video, I wanted to address a question that I received on my channel by an individual who shall remain nameless, but it is a public comment on the how I'm going to approach the new CCNP exam video, and I wanted to try to help some people understand how this process is actually going to work, because there's a lot of folks out there, and especially with the new exams coming out in it's like 5, maybe 6 weeks from now. So the new exams are literally right next month, and you have about probably the better part of 5 weeks, maybe not quite 6. But for those of you that are currently studying for the new Ccna exam, or if you're like me and you're all excited about the new CCNP exams, there's some things that are going to be changing. And I'm not talking about the exam blueprint and things like that. I'm talking about the migration standards and stuff like that. So what I'm going to first expand upon real quick is going to be the new exams real quick in terms of how they're going to work. So let me expand on all of these first, and then I can go into detail on each one of them and hopefully answer your questions you might have. So starting off with this new CCNA. Okay, so the new exam number is 200-301, right? And this is going to be the exam number. So let me go ahead and get out of the way. This is the new exam number, right? Now, when it comes to migration, in terms of how this is going to work, so the new CCNA exam is going to replace the CCNA Cloud, Collaboration, Data Center, Industrial, CCDA, Route Switch, Security, Service Provider, and Wireless, okay? Now, a couple of things that are missing on here is cybersecurity, and then there's like one other exam, and I don't remember off the top of my head what it is. It says if you have started working toward any current CCNA or CCDA, keep going. You have until February 23rd, that's a Sunday, by the way, to complete your current CCNA, CCDA. If you complete any current CCNA, CCDA certification before February 24th, so by midnight at February 23rd or 11:59 on February 23rd, you'll receive the new CCNA certification and a training badge in that corresponding technology area. So you'll get like a badge for route switch or security or data center or something along those lines. If you have earned your CCENT, Cisco Certified Entry Networking Technician certification, and would like to earn the new CCNA, you have until February 23rd to complete your CCNA certification in the current program. Now, one thing I want to make clear here, the CCENT certification is being retired, okay? So retired does not mean you're going to lose the certification, okay? Doesn't mean it expires. It doesn't mean it's getting revoked. It means it's being retired. Meaning, if you got your CCENT 3 years ago, or it's like 2 years, 9 months ago, something like that, and you're planning on using the ICND1 or the CCENT exam to recertify, after February 24th, you will not be able to take the CCENT exam. You'll have to take the new CCNA because the CCENT will be retired. So another scenario, you just passed your CCENT within inside of the past 2 years, okay? The certification will still be valid after that, okay? So it will still be valid and it'll still work. I haven't gotten really good clarification from Cisco to say that even though a certification has been retired, that you'll no longer be able to put it on your resume, or it'll no longer show up inside of the Pearson VUE area of the Cisco certification tracking system. The reason why I say that is because I know CCIEs that are out there that have earned a CCIE that's been retired, whether it's been voice, storage, ISP dial. There's a few other ones that are out there. WAN was one of them, stuff like that, where the CCIE they earned 10, 15 years ago is now retired, but they still get credit for having it because their CCIE is still active. So I don't know if that's going to correlate down to the lower level certifications. So that's how that comes into play. So I don't know how that piece is going to work out yet. We'll have to all wait and see. Cisco hasn't been very forthcoming with information on that. I don't know if they're going to give you credit for that certification. If they don't give you credit for it, no harm, no foul. No big deal. In my opinion, no big deal. That should just put you in a position where you go and get the new certification. If that's a big, if that's a, that bums you out or doesn't work well for you, well, there's not much me or you or anybody else other than Cisco is going to be able to do anything about that. So you might as well chalk it up to you need to go go study for a new certification and go after it. And that's probably not what you want to hear, but the reality of the situation is you're probably going to have to just get with it and get after it. Now that's the CCNA. Now, one thing that I like about the new CCNP certification is the requirement that was in place before, meaning you had to go and get the CCNA in order to get credit for CCNP. I say get credit for because I do know a couple of people that did not have their CCNA when they went to go take CCNP exams. Whether they didn't know about it or, whatever the case might have been, they didn't go after the CCNA before they went after the CCNP. And then after taking an exam or passing all three, route, switch, and T-shoot, they didn't get credit for it, and they reached out and they were like, hey, what gives? And then Cisco was just like, oh, hey, by the way, you haven't met the prerequisites. So that prerequisite of your CCNA being needed for you to pass your CCNP or to earn a CCNP exam, or certification, I should say, is no longer there. I should say, and I'll put a bullet point somewhere above me, February 24th, the prereq for CCNA for you to have your CCNA before you would earn a CCNP goes away. Currently, from today until February 23rd, that is still a requirement. You must have a CCNA before you knock out a CCNP. Now, the new CCNP exams are going to come out. There's going to be an enterprise, which replaces routing and switching. Yeah, I was a little surprised when CCNP routing and switching was retired, or I should say the routing and switching track was retired and was replaced with enterprise infrastructure and enterprise wireless. But it makes a lot of sense why they did that. And I'm not going to go into those details right now, but they made some changes, which it made sense. I'm not sure I'm exactly happy with them, but it is what it is. So they have that. Now, when it comes to the actual certification, if we were to look at enterprise, for example, that's going to be probably the most popular track, and that's the one that most people are probably going after. If we look at this, the new exam goes live February 24th, 2020. You have the core exam, which you have to take, and you can pass any one of these three exams right here to earn your CCNP Enterprise. And if you want to go CCNP Enterprise Wireless, then you pass the core exam and then any one of these wireless design or wireless implementation. Now, what's cool about this is the new CCNP Enterprise replaces the current CCNP route switch, wireless, and CCDP. So if you've already started working on it, keep going. And if you have, if you pass any exams, if you pass any exams in these certifications before February 24th, you'll receive a badge for corresponding new exams and credit towards the new track. If you complete any of these certifications, you will receive the new CCNP Enterprise certification badging for corresponding technologies, Enterprise Core, Advanced Routing, Wireless, or Design. So, for example, in my case, I have a CCNP in routing and switching. I've had one for a long time now. I will get a badge on February 24th for Enterprise Core Technologies, Advanced Routing, and that's where I will stop because I do not have a CCNP in wireless, nor do I have a CCDP. But I will be going after the new CCNP or CCNP Enterprise or the Designing Enterprise Networks. I will be attempting that exam because I get rid of a lot of garbage in the CCDP that's there that I just don't feel like spending my time on. Like, I don't really deal with data centers, so designing them for the most part, I don't really deal with that. So I don't want to spend a bunch of time learning Cisco UCS, Cisco Nexus, and Cisco storage if it doesn't benefit me. I'm kind of being conceited and selfish that way, so I'd rather spend my time on this exam right here, focusing on that, which I will be probably, after February, probably early March is when I'm probably going to do that. Now, there are no prerequisites for this exam. I'm trying to look for those prerequisites. So it says there are no formal prerequisites for CCNP Enterprise. Although you should have a good understanding of the exam topics before taking the exam, CCNP candidates often also have 3 to 5 years experience implementing enterprise networking solutions. So you should know what you're doing, basically is what they're saying. So that's how that goes. And if you want to know more about my feelings on the new exams and how you should approach them, I have another video on that. But basically, what I go into detail is learn the technologies, not the certification. So study for the technology, not the certification. I'm actually going to go and talk about that in another video where I'll go into detail on how you should approach the certification exams and some tips on how to approach that, but that'll be another video. So there's that. So if you go and you earn your, if you already have your CCNP, then guess what? You'll automatically be you'll be granted a new CCNP and any of the badges you have, whether it's a CCNP in wireless design. So if you have a CCNP route switch, a CCNP wireless, and a CCDP, you're going to be getting a whole lot of badges on February 24th. Do I think that they're going to have that stuff day one? I honestly don't. I don't think they're going to have it day one. I could be wrong. They could hand that stuff out day one, and there you go. I don't know. So we'll see how that plays out. So now I'm not going to go through the migration tools. I'm going to go on to the next one, which is the Cisco Certified Specialist. This is probably the coolest thing that Cisco came out with in terms of the next steps that they're going to be going through. And what they're going to basically do for anyone that is going to be tackling any of the new certifications. And I really like what they're doing here because it gives those of us that have put a lot of time and effort into a particular technology area credit for time served. Okay? So basically what that means is if you go out and you pass a CCNP level exam, I say CCNP level because all these are geared towards CCNP level. They're all 300 level exams. There is no 200 level exam in here. Okay? So basically what this means is whenever I go and I pass, you have your CCNA, right? And the other thing that they don't have in here is there's no specialist for the CCNA because there is no, the only way you get a specialist, a badge for the CCNA level exams is if you currently already have a CCNA. I have CCNA route switch, CCNA security, CCNA wireless. Okay, those are the 3 CCNAs that I happen to have. Now, at some point in the future, February 24th, I will get a badge for security technologies at the CCNA level, routing and switching, and wireless. Okay, I'll get those, and that will put me in, I'll get badges for them. After February 24th, if you go get your CCNA and you're expecting it to get a badge, all you're going to get is a CCNA. If you haven't earned an existing CCNA in another track, security, service provider, wireless, data center, whatever it might be, you're not going to get designations for those because you didn't earn the certification before that. So what's going to end up happening is you earn your CCNA, or if you already have one, or let's say you're working at a CCNP. You don't want to waste your time on the CCNA. That's okay. You don't have to. They're going to let you go through and knock out any of these certs. Now, any exam that you pass, whether you pass the NRC exam, the Advanced Infrastructure Implementation, or the SD-WAN, or the Enterprise Core, if you pass these certifications, if you pass these exams, any one of these exams, you will get a badge. They call the Cisco Certified Specialist for this particular exam that you took. You will get a badge for that. What Cisco is doing is they're saying, you know what, Rob, you put in a bunch of time in a bunch of different areas. So we're going to give you some recognition for time and effort for a particular track or technology area that you spent. So this is actually kind of cool. I like this a lot because, for example, I spent a lot of time in previous roles and in different deployments working on VPNs and firepower and it's not identity management with Identity Services Engine and ACS. So I've spent a lot of time on those platforms in customer deployments. So I can go and take these exams, and if I pass this exam right here, then I will get a Cisco Certified Specialist certification in ICE. Let me go ahead and get out of the way. I'll earn the ICE exam certification. Then I can go get the VPN exam. I can get the firepower exam, so on and so forth. Now, if I circle back and then I take security core, then I will become a CCNP in security. But I only have to take one specialist exam and in the core, I take 2 exams, and I'm a CCNP in that particular track. Now, what's cool about this is if I pass any core level certification, that is the new, on February 24th and later, the new CCIE written exam. So it's kind of cool. And one of the things that they make you do for recertification is they make you go and get a new CCNP. So if you want to get a CCNP in whatever exam, or whatever track, then you have to go get a new CCNP or pass, I think it's 3 concentration exams. So don't exactly know why they came up with that particular combination, but they did. It is what it is. So that's how that comes into play. CCIE is they've never had a prerequisite for it. So I am going to be going after CCIE service provider and then CCIE security, and probably collaboration way down the road. But now that I've got phones, I've got a phone sitting right here in front of me. Matter of fact, I have the phone sitting in front of me. It's a 9971. It's kind of cool working with it. So I can, I've got call manager set up in my basement and on a server and stuff like that. So I plan on taking that certification at some point in the future and stuff like that. But that's how the new exams are going to be lined up. And I'm not going to go into any more about the CCIEs. But if I was to go like for infrastructure, for example, because that's technically, routing and switching is the only CCIE I technically have. What will end up happening is on February 24th, I will get a new CCIE. I will get, it says if you complete the entire CCIE routing and switching certification before February 24th, then on February 24th, you'll automatically receive the new CCIE Enterprise Infrastructure Version 1 certification. So, for those of you that are CCIEs out there and have a route switch or anything like that, but it only goes for route switch. If you go for, I believe it is security, will not be doing this because it's the only one that's getting an update. I don't believe this is going to apply for security. So if you complete the entire CCIE security before February 24th, you'll maintain your CCIE security certification as per the new guidelines. And you'll also receive the security core exam. So only the new CCIE Enterprise are they going to give you another CCIE. So if you never did route switch and you are expecting to get another CCIE, then that's not going to be the case. Technically speaking, I've only passed 1 lab. I've only passed route switch. So it took me 3 tries to do it as well. So I'll be getting another CCIE in another 6 weeks. But it's the same content. So I just have to learn a little bit about SD access and a little bit about SD-WAN. And then I can go take I plan on doing security. I plan on doing wireless. I plan on doing collaboration, data center. I want to get stronger in other areas, so I'll definitely be covering those technology tracks. But that's basically how this works. So I wanted to at least cover some of the details behind all that type of stuff, especially with the migration process and how that comes into play. So that's pretty much how that comes into play. So thanks so much for stopping by and hanging out with me in this video. And until next time, guys, take it easy.